Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Oh my goodness. I guess I'm back. I'm back. I know. I jinxed myself by saying that I was gonna be back and I'll be right back in a few weeks. Okay, but I think now I'm back for like ever. Well, until I'm done. Today, this week, we're going to hang out with our 50th herb of the week. Yes, I have a list here of what, not the whole 50. I don't even know how we've done 50 herbs. I need to go back and fact check myself and see if that's even correct. What herbs have we done? We've done 50 herbs. Well, according to my little paper here, because we're going to do 64 when it's all said and done. So yeah, like I do want to wrap it up maybe in 2021. Ooh, I still can rhyme. Well, that's good to know. So we got a new herb of the week. Should I tell you what it is, or should I oh wait, you can probably just read what it is in the title. It's friggin' bee balm. I was like, ooh, maybe I'll just make you wait 3 more minutes. But actually, if you know how to read, you can see it probably says herb of the week, bee balm. Bee balm, bzz, and then what, balm, like lip balm. Bee balm. It's a really cool plant. And I know this because I have wanted to grow it forever. And I have tried multiple mother truckin' times to grow it. And it always gets eaten. Like a deer or a rabbit always eats the baby bee balm shoots. So if you've got bee balm established, you're probably laughing because you're like, how the heck can you not get bee balm? Because you already have it and it's established, and it can handle some critter munching and still do its thing in the bee balm patch. But if you are just trying to get it going on, I would just suggest from my past experiences, protect those baby bee balms because they gonna get eaten. All right, so we're gonna hang out with bee balm this week at Ho. It's funny how, let me get adjusted here. It's funny how you can totally have to retrain yourself into rhythms that you once had pretty solid for yourself. And I'm finding it interesting too, like how many things I've forgotten with my podcasts. Not only did I forget about my podcast, I just haven't done them forever. But then I didn't realize all the rhythms, all the things that I do with them that I used to do just naturally, out of habit. Okay, for example, so I got up today before my alarm, so I know I'm supposed to be here. And as soon as before I pushed play, it says 5:55. So I know I'm supposed to be sitting here recording. But it's oh my gosh, how did I get up every day and do this? So I was like, okay, let's review what's the order of the sequence of episodes, what's the sequence of segments within it. And I see affirmation minute. And I'm like, well, duh, of course we're going to have to make an affirmation minute, for our new herb of the week, bee balm. I know, I can't believe we have a new herb. I thought we'd be stuck with colt's foot forever. But it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I have to do that. Okay, and then I listened to my intro because I was like, well, let's get in the mood. Let's listen to the Herb Oracle intro. And then it's like, and then that lady that runs this podcast, she was like, and if you follow me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's right, I have to do an Instagram post. And then I was like, oh yeah, because then you have to put it on your Patreon page. And oh yeah, then you... And I'm just like, whoa. So it's like that for Ho. It's like that for Herb Oracle. It's like that for Sadecast. It's like that for my A Course in Miracles videos that maybe, hopefully soon I'll get back to on my YouTube channel. But what impresses me, what I'm getting at, is that I used to do it and do it seamlessly, and I didn't have to remind myself, and I'd still have time to spare. And now it kind of seems like a little bit of work. Yeah. All right. So anyways, let me put this paper away. So tomorrow we're going to do tarot cards like we always do. Wednesday, we're going to do power. I'm going to do a power up video, just video podcast, because Spirit keeps wanting me to do them and they're not easy for me. None of them have been easy for me so far since I started the power ups. But I do them, and I think it's good that I challenge myself a little bit to do something like that. And this week, the 3 key things that we're powering up are also challenging for me. We're going to be powering up gathering, harmony, and flexibility. So anyways, I'm not trying to talk myself out of coming back again. But while I'm complaining, can I just get it all out? Okay, so I'm also in a new house, new setup. I want to open the window so freaking bad because I'm sweating because I chugged my black tea, but also because I like to have like the sound of birds and nature coming in through the window, and it's hot as hell up here and blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know if you can pick it up, but there's like constant traffic where I live. So now I'm like wondering how that's going to work. Do I need to like block my view and put up like a sound thing, or do I need to pick a different room? Like I'm just sort of whining about the sound. So anyways, hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, but yeah, we cannot open the window. No, that will just tick too many people off, like, because the trucks will get bigger, the cars will get bassier, the engines will get revier, and it'll get more non-stop, constant-er. Okay? All right, so without further ado, let me take my intellectual ass to the driver's seat and introduce our herb of the week, and the one that we might hang out with maybe possibly for a full hour. I don't even know if I know how to talk for a full hour anymore. Dun, da, da, da. Balm. And we only have 3 cards, and but I think that'll be plenty to give us a little idea. I went downstairs to my nerdy herb folder system to be like, oh, I wonder if what I have in the nerdy folder for Balm. I did have a folder for Balm with absolutely nothing in it. So I've never taken it upon myself to specifically research what bee balm would be good for. I just wanted to grow it because it's awesome looking. You can make a tea out of it. The bees love it. The pollinators love it. It just was on my grow list, my grow bucket list. So anyways, hopefully that could still come true for me. Maybe a container garden, maybe a container. I have actually this tree stump in my new backyard, so maybe that would be the solution. Like, okay, first of all, there's probably not too many deer coming downtown here. I hope not. If the rabbit wants to climb up this huge ass tree stump and then into a container to nibble my bee balm, well, hey, it probably deserves that bee balm. So yeah, maybe that would be like a solution for me to actually get some going in a pot. So we've got 3 cards for bee balm. One actually has a bee on it, so that's pretty cool. It is from the Plant Spirit Oracle by Dana O'Driscoll. It's got this really badass looking bee. It almost kind of looks like a hornet bee. and on the back of it is a pentagram, and then it sort of has like the bee balm, like it's like spreading outward, and then behind the bee balm in the background are trees, a bunch of trees. So there's a bunch of bee balm, a bunch of trees. There is only one bee on the card. Wings spread wide, and it has a message of community, of collective, and expectation. So I feel like this week, I just saw exactly what I'm going to be personally doing this week. I feel like this week, any type of group issues, collective issues, gathering issues, issues within your community, your friend circle, your family circle. Think of in your life when there's multiple people together. So that could be your family, that could be your workplace, that could be, I don't know where that could be for you. But think about like when people come together. Is it good for you? Is it smooth for you? Are you the outcast? Are you like the happy bumblebee? Are you the social butterfly? Like, how is your community dynamics? Now, for me personally, I know there's some cleanup. I know there's some energetic cleanup to do with this because I'm a hermit. And even though like I love socializing to an extent, like there is part of me that loathes it and loves to retreat. And let me just like dish the dirt right off the bat, because I was already thinking today, Sadie, why did you announce on your Facebook page that you're coming back to Ho? One, to hold myself accountable, but I was like, why did you do that? Because now some of the people that you need to bitch about might actually be tuning in. But you know what? It's fine. But let's just dish it out first thing first, because here's a community issue. I love my projects, but I also hate the fact that people that I know are going to listen in. But then I also hate that people that I know don't listen in, right? So it's like this weird twisted thing with your ego. Like you want people to support you, but then you're also like, yeah, but I don't really know if I want them to support me. Yeah, maybe I did forget how to talk. All right, so at my work right now, it is a cliquey restaurant. We'll just say that. It is a cliquey club, okay? And I do not at all feel part of the clique, you know? So I do have a real job right now because you guys don't pay me. And when I go to work, I literally just go there to work, you know? And it's an interesting, weird dynamic because it's a small staff and they're all cliquey and talky, and I'm just going to say it, two-facey and a little bit backstabby. Like, I'm watching it happen to, you know, behind the scenes, you know, being the quiet one that like everybody else still wants to run their mouth to, but I'm seeing like people do it like about each other, and I'm seeing how they just singled out like one employee to the point where she did get fired kind of like on her own accord, but it didn't help that people were like throwing bad juju at her at the same time. I mean, yeah, she got fired because she should have got fired. She didn't show up for work. But like, I'm just like seeing the type of folk, you know. Anyways, my point is I am not part of their world whatsoever. But I go there to work, and that's fine because they probably need some energy that just shows up and tries not to get too involved. But anyways, and just rolls silverware. But anyways, where is your community dynamics? Balm is going to maybe talk about how you see yourself in the collective, your part that you play. Are you a worker bee? Are you the queen bee? Are you a drone? Are you just one of the male bees that gets used for mating and that's all that you're good for? It's like, what are your issues? Do you feel part of it? Do you resent it? And do you understand that you are part of a collective? So galactically, I know that the message that Bee Balm might want to bring in with its kind of antenna-y spikes and its flower petals is, do you understand? Sorry to reiterate it and beat the drum till, here we go, till the cows come home. But do you understand that we are all one? And anything that happens within the collective is just basically an aspect of you. So even though just 35 seconds ago, I sat here kind of bitching about the way people were acting at my workplace, do I understand that that's an aspect of me? Do I understand that that might be showing me something within myself? Obviously, the Arcturians are saying, yes, if you see it outside of you, it exists within you. Now, you have a choice whether or not you want to act like that or not. But we have to stop judging the community, the collective, us versus them, like it's not part of us, because it's all part of us. So maybe Bee Balm this week will help us understand that a little bit better. Then the last word on the Bee Balm card is expectation. So that's a good one too. It's like, well, what were you expecting? What are your expectations? Like, okay, maybe it isn't how you thought it was going to be, but it's still part of your community. I don't know where we'll go with the expectation word. Or do you think expectations are good or bad? Like, does it get you in trouble sometimes because you end up disappointed? Or does it help you be a powerful manifester? Like, I get what I expect and I expect the best. And I always, I'm just saying, like, get the best parking spots. Because when I do roll into work, I do always expect to get an amazing parking spot, and I do. So sometimes I think expectations are good, and then other times I don't know if they are or not. Because then it keeps you maybe closed up in a box without opening yourself to receive things that you never really thought maybe that you wanted. And Bee Balm is definitely, in my opinion, a flower of receiving. Because if you even just look at these petals, they are open. Now, they're like receiving and giving, because like the top of this flower is like up like spiky two-pronged antennas. So it's definitely going to snag that energy coming down one way or another. And then the bottom half of the flower are downward sloping petals. So it's a cool flower. It really, really is. So giving and receiving. Put your left hand up in the air right now. You know that we're going to do stupid shit like this. Put your left hand up in the air. That's your receiving hand. You can feel the energy come down your arm immediately. Don't you science nerds just say that's your blood flowing down your arm. Just work with me here. You're receiving energy. Put your right hand down towards the ground. Yeah, this is like the magician card in the tarot. Point to the ground with your right hand. Just get your pointer finger. It's like you receive this energy coming down from source, from your higher self, from the ceiling, whatever, wherever you get your energy from, and you bring it into your flower, your Bee Balm head, and you point it where you want it to go. And yeah, I think Bee Balm is saying we can direct this energy with our expectations. So do you have your right hand down pointed? Okay, now just point it upward just ever so slightly towards something. Right now I'm pointing to an aloe plant, because from the floor to like a 11-degree angle of the floor, now I'm pointing at an aloe plant. Like if I am expecting it to go there, I'm pointing right at it, I'm thinking about it, it should go where I want it to. It's kind of like throwing a football or, I don't know, a laser pen. Pointing a laser pen, on the baseboard of the wall. Like, there it is. You're pointing it there. You expect your cat to run at the wall and try to kill that red dot because you're pointing it there. All right. So anyways, expectation. I feel where you're going, Bee Balm. Okay, our second card that we're going to talk about today. Yeah, I'm just talking about the cards that we're going to talk about. I know it's taking me 20 minutes of talking to just tell you what we're going to talk about. Our second card is Vibrance. So we're going to talk about that from the Soul Flower deck from Lisa Estabrook. And then we'll wrap it up with the Herb Crafters Tarot by Letitia Guthrie and Joanna Powell Colbert. It is the Two of Fire. So we'll learn a little bit more about the Two of Fire. We'll learn a little bit more about Bee Balm. We'll learn a little bit more about vibrance in our own life, vibrance within the community and the collective, and how if we are expecting more vibrance and or fill in the blank, whatever else you want to, we can certainly manifest that. We can certainly download more of that and direct it where we want it to go. All right. On that note, welcome back to Ho, another week of Ho, and our herb of the week is Bee Balm. All right, so Bee Balm. Yeah, let's stay focused, Sadie. If not, I'm just going to continue to kind of complain how I don't know if I like my setup here. I feel like my chair is rolling. I don't have to feel just like this. My chair is rolling away from my desk. It's an old house and, the floor is not quite level anymore. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it like this. I do love that. Okay, yeah, let's think about what we love. Let's change our expectations. Let's expect more things that we love. I do love that there is a tree in front of me out the window. That's kind of blocking the traffic that's coming and going more and more. So I might have to be one of those people that gets up at like 4:20 to get recording by, 5 o'clock in the morning for the quiet time. Because, now we're at like 6:19 and people are like, oh my God, I have to get to work. All right. So anyways, Bee Balm. Where are these people in the community working? That it is really cool. I will say, I like to people watch and I like to observe, patterns within the collective. And so it's interesting to see the people that get up, in the morning, and that part of the community is taking the morning shift, and how the people later on in the day are different, and that people at night are certainly different. And it's all part of the collective, my local collective. It's all part of my local community. And just watching people be how they be. It's not that one's better than the other. It just is what it is. All right, so Bee Balm, certainly a unique plant. In the garden community, it is of its own look. It is of its own, kind of from a way distance, if you didn't have your glasses on, in this Two of Fire card that we'll end with, if I didn't have my glasses on and I was just holding that up 4 or 5 feet away from my face, at a glance I would think it looked from this picture like a fuchsia colored echinacea. So the petals are kind of sparse like echinacea in a way. It's not the prettiest girl at the party, but it's cool. It's the funky girl. It's probably the one that you would enjoy a conversation with. She probably has something interesting to say, or at least she's gonna kick it on the dance floor with you. All right, so now we understand the energy more of Bee Balm. Very unique, very proud, very vibrant in its own way. So let's look in the Plant Spirit Oracle book with meanings, recipes, and journeys. So this is a Pennsylvania book. Probably wasn't printed in Pennsylvania, but the lady who wrote it lives in Pennsylvania. Let's see. Community, culture, expectation. Bee Balm, also known as Mandara, wild bergamot, or Oswego tea. So I'm sure there's different ways to say all three of those words. Oswego tea, wild bergamot, or Mandara. That goes from its Latin name, Mandara. species. So it is a striking flower that does well in a range of conditions. So you can grow in full sun, it could grow in full shade, it could grow wherever the fuck it wants to, just not in my yard apparently, because things like to eat it. It particularly likes damp edges of forests, the banks of small streams, or other low-lying areas, but then you'll also see it planted as an ornamental in a garden. So it could, if you're interested in bee balm, get some seeds or go to I've bought starts at the herb festival in Cook's Forest. But yeah, get it going on and see if you can protect it enough to get it started. And whether it's full sun, full shade, whether you're living at the edge of a forest, whether it's by a stream, wherever, it should be able to grow. Mandara is a very potent, we'll just call it bee balm. Bee balm is a very potent and beautiful medicinal plant. Now, what's usually common if you come across it is it grows in large clusters and groups. So it's not like you'll just have one bee balm plant. It will spread. It will definitely spread. It's happy to live in a community. It's happy to have a lot of them, make a little statement. But I'm just saying, heads up, make sure you start it where you want it, because if indeed you do get it going on, it's going to be there forever. And it'll grow, the patch will grow, and it will create its own community. The flowers, usually blooming at the height of summer, span from pale pink to deep red or fuchsia, and are striking even at a distance. So the colors the color is fantastic, and once you get a whole group of them, yeah, they could be striking in the garden. I'm just saying, put them in a space where they're not going to bully out something smaller. Okie doke. So you can identify it by looking for vibrant blooms. In Pennsylvania, that is early to late July. The leaves grow opposite and vary in color from light to dark green. So even within the bee balm community, that's why it's species, there is quite a little bit of different colors with the flowers and with the leaves. Now, when you crush the leaves, it smells like oregano. So the leaves, when crushed, smell like oregano. When you taste them, they are very peppery and spicy, as would be expected. If something smells like oregano, it's probably going to taste spicy and peppery. So it is very important to the bees. So the name is suggesting, right? Bee balm. It's very important to a lot of other pollinators too, butterflies and hummingbirds. The plant bee balm produces a rich nectar that supports insect life during nectar dearth times in the season, which typically occur in July and early August in most parts of the eastern and Midwest United States. All right, wake up. So that gives you a little bit of info botanically on what the plant looks like. Now, herbally, for my herb nerds, for herbalism, I know you're itching, like, okay, great. Why do I want to drink that tea? Why do I want to connect with this plant? Well, medicinally, bee balm is a very strong antimicrobial and antibacterial plant. So that to me makes sense because it smells like the leaves smelling like oregano. Oregano is very powerful antiseptic and all that, antimicrobial. So yeah, this is up there in maybe not quite oregano status, but it's getting closer to that. Now, the plant matter to be effective must be in contact with the affected area. So Bee balm is most useful for conditions such as a urinary tract infection, or if you have mouth and gum sores or conjunctivitis. So it's good as a tea, like an eye wash or a skin wash. You can make a tincture out of bee balm. You could totally just drink the tea. It's useful in combating colds and flu by strengthening the immune system. So if you had a lot of bee balm, think about making a tincture. You can create a fresh or a dried bee balm tincture. And it is a great tincture for fighting colds and the flu, particularly when combined with elderberry. So you're going to take a bee balm tincture as a preventative to strengthen your immune system and keep you well with elderberry. Yeah, like you don't always have to wait till you're sick to take these things. All right. I like too that it's good like for a mouth rinse. It's gentle enough to be able to be used as an eye wash. So that's pretty amazing that it can be such a powerful, strong antimicrobial, antibacterial plant, but it is also gentle enough to put in your eye. All right, so there we go. That's the herbalism little spliff. We might pick up a few more things, but from the 2 of fire once we get there. But if you are interested in bee balm, learning more like na 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 na, if you want to get nerdy with it, take it upon yourself absolutely to learn more. Give me a C, give me an O, give me an MMUNITY, give me a community. All right, it's probably not gonna catch on very well in the cheerleading world, but community. Are you a cheerleader in your own community? What are you adding to the community? How are you benefiting the community? Yeah, how are you adding to it? That's a good thing. It's like, I'm watching my son, be done with high school, and people are like, what are you going to college for? What are you going to do? Or whatever. And I feel like, we really need to be like asking our young folk, what do you want to do? But also like, how are you going to add to the world? How would you like to improve the community? What kind of asset will you be? And also like, what would you enjoy doing in the community, in the collective? So if we get this card in a reading, this bee balm card from the Plant Spirit Oracle, it might be asking or, wanting to talk about community or aspects of community, maybe some issues in the community. You just kind of like have to base it on the other cards or on your life. But, whenever you hear the word community, you should right away be able to tell, like, if you enjoy community, if that sort of warms your heart, like, yeah, I love this town. I love this place. I feel part of it. I feel like I'm adding to it. Or if you had sort of like that, like repulsion feeling, or, well, I don't feel part of this, or I feel like, you should be able to just see how you feel whenever you think about community or your community. And maybe there sometimes seems to be like little subdivision groups, like little communities within community, but it is all a big old collective. So just a contemplation point, push pause, contemplate how you feel you work, integrate, or be a part of your community. What's your role? So now bee balm relates to being in a community, or maybe you're seeking out a community. Maybe you would like to build community. Maybe that's what you're interested, mostly finding one or building one. or just feeling part of one, or like I said, getting along as a community, within a community. So this might be at any level, Balm says. This could be a local community of friends. It could be a neighborhood, a town, a region, a city, a spiritual community, an interest-based community, perhaps even a virtual community. So yeah, I guess we have a hoe community. Kind of, not really, but we could have a Facebook group, you guys. Yeah, a lot of people do that. And then there's like, is it a community where people know each other and work together? Or is it just like you're there? Just a lot of different variations of community when you take a minute to think of it. So we might look to the bees. The bees are definitely in a community. 2 weeks ago, I was invited to attend the local garden club. So that little club in itself is like a community that helps the community. The garden club ladies, right? They beautify the local area. But anyways, my point is they had a speaker for the group, and he was a beekeeper. And he told and taught us more things about bees that you'd ever want to know, but it's so interesting. But yeah, each hive is its own community too, and they all know their job. They're just born to do it, and they're all serving the same purpose. And like sometimes the queen will leave and she'll take part of the hive with her, and then they'll have to like rebuild that community, but it's fairly seamless in the bee world. But yeah, very interesting how the bees are a tight-knit community that works together for the good of the hive. So are our local communities, are we as a virtual community working together for the good of the all, the good of the hive? So yeah, interesting things to consider. How many aspects of community might be at play in our lives or central to the issue at hand. So very, very cool. All right, so this card also wants to talk about the collective. So in a sense, it's like, well, what's the difference between a community and a collective? Kind of. But I think a collective would just be much bigger. A collective could be like a collection of all the communities, right? So you're within your local community, but it is a collective, like the whole human collective, like all billions of us. So bee balm can represent a larger collective culture. She says here in the book, the broader and unknown populace that often has influence over our actions and our lives. So when we think about like bees and hive mentality and groupthink, and then we apply that to humans, it's like sometimes just within the collective, that's a way to say like within all humans, within the collective, we can have like a certain way of thinking that even though we don't maybe pick up on it, it is influencing everyone to some degree. So cultures and collectives always have expectations for behavior that is normal, right? That's normals in parentheses or in quotes. The expectations for gender, sexuality, spirituality, behavior, belief, and so on. So it's like, what do these collective energies do to you? Like, if you go out within your community, whether it's on the front of your awareness or not, there is certain societal expectations that's influencing your behavior and how you act in public, right? Mind your manners, right? Like there's just stuff set into place that people seem to follow and maybe or maybe not respect, but they certainly do it or don't do it. So how are you adhering to them? Or is there some things that have just been set up within the collective that it's time to break free of? And then think about the issues in your life or at hand, and how do they tie to these broader patterns. So Bee Balm sort of wants us to get more of an aerial view too of our lives and see how like things are connected and playing off each other. And then on top of all that, how the collective just influences down into your moment to moment actions. So anyways, Bee Balm is definitely a big card. And then the last thing this card wants to talk about is expectation. So yeah, like you might expect people to act a certain way or expect people to do things in your community or not do them. But then even just in your own personal life, how do you expect people to be? So flowing from the above, Bee Balm also represents the expectations of others, whether they're known or unknown. They definitely surround us. Like, well, I know she expects me to do this, or, you know, there's a lot of expectations from other people. Sometimes we act as we are expected to act, and other times we rebel against expectations. So, Bee Balm asks, what do these expectations do to you? So this is a big self-reflective herb this week, and Bee Balm is asking or suggesting that you take a good look at how the expectations of others are influencing the situations in your life or what's going on right now, and the situation at hand, and then how you respond and how you behave and act. And yeah, I get it. I get where Bee Balm is stepping. You know, it's like if you're expected to sit still, like, but really what you want to be is a vibrant bee balm flower. Like, are you going to bloom because you want to bloom and you're going to break free from being all neat and tidy? Or do you just go with the status quo? Woo! All right, you guys. So that's who we're hanging out with this week. Bee Balm. I think it's going to be good, especially with the beautiful reminder that we have from the Soul Flower card, Vibrance. Okie doke. I just took a little stroll downstairs. Wanted to get some honey because my throat was already feeling wrecked from talking. And two, to grab a book because my inner herb nerd, just like a little bit wanting more, little factual stuff for the herb Bee Balm. I grabbed one book and I see that it's referred to as horse mint. So then I grabbed another book that's actually an older book, but it's just such a good classic. I keep it around. So there is lots of different species of the Mondarda bee balm, and it's called wild bergamot. It's also called red bergamot. Yes, it's referred to as horse mint a lot of time, and Oswego tea. What kind of like interesting little history that I found was, so the Latin name, Mondarda, was named after the 16th century Spanish medical botanist Nicolas de Mondardes, and is closely related to wild or purple bergamot. So I'm assuming that a lot of these species are just confused and intermixed at this point, but the Oswego tea, which has long been used by American Indians for medicinal purposes. Oswego derives its name from the Oswego River district near Lake Ontario in the United States, and that's where it grew in abundance and most supplies originally came from. So after the Boston Tea Party in 1773, where there was a protest at the tea duty imposed on the colony, if you didn't know that. Oswego tea replaced Indian tea in many American households. So while they were telling, the Brits and the Queen to shove it, they drank a local variety of tea, which they should have just fucking done from the first place, in my opinion. Like, I think it's always a good idea to try to utilize what you have near you. Be independent, be sovereign, grow your own friggin' tea. All right, so anyways, without going down that road, what else can I tell you about? I know, more things you can use it for. So yeah, there is volatile oils that are related to thymol. So that's why it smells like oregano. There is tannic acid in it, just like black tea. So it gives you that satisfying experience that you're looking for. I don't know if it has caffeine though. Doesn't really say that. That's a good question, honey. Go look it up. Now you can use this plant fresh or dried. This says sometimes the root and sometimes the oil, essential oil. Now, na. It's a carminative, which means it'll help with your belly aches and gas. It's a stimulant, so maybe there's our answer about the caffeine. It's a rubefacient, which means it gets your skin, like if you put it on your skin, it brings blood to the surface of the skin. It's a weak diaphoretic, so it might make you sweat a little bit. A weak emmenagogue, so I don't know why if it's weak, why do you even put it in here? Might start your period. And it is an expectorant. So you can make this tea to help relieve nausea, flatulence, menstrual pain, vomiting, and it says with less success, headaches and colds. It is also taken internally and by inhalation of the water vapor for bronchial catarrh and sore throats. And then, you can use it as an ointment for skin problems. You can take it as a tea. You can use it sparingly in salads. And once an ingredient of hair preparations. The oil is sometimes used in perfumery. There we go. A little more on the bergamot, the wild bergamot, the purple bergamot, the red bergamot. It's probably all pretty similar, what you can use it for. So you literally could just drink this tea because you enjoy it, because you like the flavor of it, but it also helps with belly aches and, gas, menstrual cramps, and all that kind of shit. All right, so there we go. And it has a real old picture, but it looks cool. And guess what? This is not a picture of just one plant. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 30 flowers in this plant, or in this picture. So these plants do love community. They do love growing. Drop the book in groups. So if you want to have it, get it going on in a place where you can let it be free. All right, vibrance. We're going to talk about vibrance now. A little reminder from Balm coming in to add some spark to your life. Add some spark to your life. And this is going to be something easy for you to remember when you look at the Balm, because the flower petals are spiky and sparky, like firecracker kind of going off. So add some spark to your life. Balm encourages you to let go of inhibitions. She encourages you to cut loose, to be passionate, and sing your song at the top of your lungs without judgment. Every day is a gift worth celebrating. Every day. Yep, even today, even yesterday. Yep, tomorrow. Yes. even that day, yes, we know the one you're thinking about, that day is still a gift worth celebrating. Bee Balm reminds you to show up and embrace the potential of your own life. No excuses. So that totally cracks me up because it is 7 o'clock now. And good job, Sadie. Good job not making excuses like I wanted to when I woke up 2 hours ago before my alarm. And I always appreciate that because that tells me I am supposed to be awake. But it's like so often we make excuses to not show up. And I'm not just saying like how we're like, we talk ourselves into going back to bed for 3 more hours. I'm like just talking about how like if you go somewhere, you're not even hardly there. You don't really show up. You're not really present. You're not really part of it. You could like go to a party, but like never put one foot on the dance floor or really let yourself loose. And I don't mean like just like get drunk. No, I'm not talking about that. Like I really feel like there needs to be less and less of that type of loosening of inhibitions. Like you shouldn't need substance to help you loosen up and be, quote, fun or have fun or say the things that you really want to say. You don't need to drink your truth serum. You can actually just be open and passionate and fun and singing at the top of your lungs without any type of liquid encouragement. So yeah, just another little bitch and moan. That is the one thing, like, even when I am enjoying my job, I'm really never enjoying serving drinks and getting paid to get people drunk. It's just not like something I really enjoy, and so the more that I work, with alcohol, the less I want it even in my life, like my personal life. Like I think like since I've started like working at a bar/restaurant, my alcohol consumption has been reduced by like 98%. Like I literally just do not even want it anymore at all. It just disgusts me. Yeah. So anyways, there's that I just wanted to say. Okay, so what else does Bee Balm want to remind us? Let's just review. That was so good. Be vibrant, right? Maybe that should be one of our affirmations. I am vibrant. I exude vibrance. Add some spark to your life. So I'm seeing somebody with short, spiky bee balm hair. Like adding some color to your life, adding some spark to your life, doing something fun, doing something that you maybe normally wouldn't step out and do, signing up for something within your community, maybe help with like a local youth group, or just do kind of something that like could add some spark to your life and others. How do you do that? Well, Bee Balm encourages you to let go of your inhibitions. So if you've been kind of hiding, you've been the shy bee, it's time to maybe step up into more of a public role, or just more of, more of an extrovert role. Like even if you don't consider yourself that, like if you're acting differently, like at home, right? You're kind of like cracking jokes, laughing, fun, dancing in your kitchen at home, like, but then you go into public and then all of a sudden you just like close up. You become like a clam. You're like jam out with your clam out. Never, right? You just get so held back. Like you don't want to show your true colors. You don't want to show your vibrance. You don't want too much attention put on you. You literally are withholding your light from your community. And you know it. So it's time to just sing at the top of your lungs. It's time to be passionate. It's time to cut loose a little bit, and cut loose more so in your community too. Like, don't just save that for your kitchen. Why not have more fun at work? B-Balm's calling me out. Why not have more fun at work? Why not have more fun at the grocery store? Why not have more fun at like wherever you're at? I'm really excited for myself personally because I'm gonna buy, I already got it, the pool pass for our local swimming pool. And like, I really am like excited to just go swimming with the community, getting my kids, hopefully some friends, some local friends, and, having some fun. So, cut loose, B-Balm says, and have more fun. So sing at the top of your lungs without judgment. That's what I'm talking about. If we can get a whole group of us singing, like, it doesn't really matter that, like, we each individually suck at it. A-I-O-U. Like, we can all come together and just sort of get it going on without judgment. Without judgment. So if you can stop judging yourself, B-Balm is saying perhaps now you can be within the community without thinking that the collective is judging you. But it starts with you stopping that self-judgment. So every day is worth celebrating. Show up. Show up in your life regardless of what you were doing. Embrace the potential of your own life. No more excuses. So that's kind of how I felt last night. Sadie, you got to show up. You said you were going to do this podcast. You were going to complete it in a way that you were proud of it. We've done like 300 and whatever episodes, but it's still not done. We got to finish these herbs. We still have a few more spotlights. Then you got to go over to Herbal Marie. You got to show up for Herbal Marie. You got to finish that Herbal Tarot. Get back into researching perhaps a little bit more. Maybe there's still other things I want to do. I want to still show up for A Course in Miracles. I want to show up for my YouTube channel. Like, there's just a few things that I want to continue to show up for. Yeah, it's called Your Life. Show up for the potential that resides within your life. Yeah, no more excuses. So do whatever it is you got to do. For me last night, it was making a dumb little story for my Instagram and Facebook, and just being held accountable, mainly to myself, but it doesn't hurt that a few people are expecting me to show up. And then, show up and hang out with the herb of the week, B-Balm. All right, so a little pat on the back. Good job, Sadie. You did show up. Now it's time to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up with 2 of Fire. So 2s in the tarot. Now in this herbal tarot, the Herb Crafters tarot, the 2s, they feature plants that are beneficial to pollinating animals and things like that. So like the 2s are chicory, bee-balm, mallow, and witch hazel. So this is a very cool tarot deck. Absolutely. If you love herbs, then you have to get the 2 herbal tarots. I mean, you got to get the herbal tarot, the one that we use at Herb Oracle, and then the Herb Crafters tarot. Just get them both. Just, just a little gift for yourself. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm not used to this. I think I'm done, man. Let's wrap it up. B-Balm's like, you got it. You got it. What you need to do, the 2 of Fire says, is harness the power of desire. What is it that you really want? What is it that you're truly passionate about? This spark that we're supposed to be adding to our life. You're like, all right, sounds good, but like, what do we want to do? We want to harness the power of desire. What kind of spark do you want in your life? B-Balm, Then the Two of Fire also want you to embrace creativity with confidence. So here we go again, this message from Balm to sing at the top of your lungs without judgment. And not even like just without judgment, but actually with confidence. So like show up and be confident to be you. Not like an arrogant like thing at all, but solid in your beingness. And Balm also says with the Two of Fire to courageously step toward the heat. So it's like I'm seeing this community bonfire, and it's like take another step towards the bonfire, even though you usually are just, looking at it maybe from a distance. Like get a little closer. You don't have to get too close, but it's like this thing called life, maybe get more into it. Show up, add some more spark to it. Be more involved within the celebration, really feel it. So let's look at this card, the Two of Fire. It's an awesome looking like outdoor gardening station. I don't know, that thing behind it almost reminds me of like a outdoor pizza oven, but I don't think that's what it is. Let's see here. A hat. Yes, there's a hat. Where? A hat rests on a stone potting table. Oh, okay, up there in the right corner. Okay, like you just put it on the edge there. A hat rests on the stone potting table. Balm plants grown from seed are ready to be transferred to the garden. So there's tools and gloves, they're all gathered in preparation for planting. The pungent smell of the leaves and the vibrant color of the flaming red flowers sets the bees a-buzzing. An empowered, bright spirit inspires others. Balm brings the bees, the butterflies, and the hummingbirds to the garden. Planting Balm stirs activity in the area, igniting growth by shaping a diverse ecosystem. So this Balm, this adds some spark to your life. It literally does that in the garden. So once you have a patch of Balm, you're going to have pollinators, you're going to have bees, you're going to have butterflies. The hummingbirds love it. Those girls love the color red. The hummingbirds will be attracted to your yard. So if that type of thing interests you, and it should, think about adding some Balm. It is a stimulator. It stirs things up. And so that's how you can be in your community and in your life if you be the Balm. If you add some spark to your life, if you vibrantly be yourself, if you vibrantly sing your song at the top of your lungs and celebrate and show up and embrace the potential, if you stop making excuses and start living your life, you will spark that light in others. That's why so many spiritual messages, like all the friggin' time, is like, just shine your light, be yourself, like stop hiding. We need people who are alive. And you're like, what are you talking about? We're all alive. Really? I see a bunch of walking corpses all the damn time. People are not living their life. People are not having fun. People are not celebrating. People are not being creative. We need to wake them up. And the best way to do that is for you to be Balm. So when making decisions, take a creative approach, right? Show up, be more creative, be more original, okay? Or not more original, just be original who you are. Like I said, if you really actually are funny and fun and lighthearted, but that seems to get dimmed when you get out into the community. No more doing that. No more making excuses or holding back. Start being the fun you, the bright, shiny you. So be original and open to alternative ideas. Take creative approaches. Be vibrant. Now, spicy bee balm remedies, when you use this herb in herbalism, spicy bee balm remedies heal with a kick. So you need to walk with flames of passion under your feet. Yeah, I could have stayed in bed this morning. I could have easily taken another week just of being lazy and but the is starting to erode at me. This not living my life to its fullest potential and working on my projects and doing things that I'm passionate about. It doesn't matter if anyone listens to this podcast, ever. It really doesn't. What matters is that I get up and I make it for myself because I like making them. So it's like I had to make that decision. Do you want to live your life today or go back to bed? So I decided to get up and live it. No regrets. But it's like you've got to walk with the flames of passion under your feet. Why not? Why not start living your best creative life starting today? Though excitement and fear may charge your actions, be confident about what must be done. Like these striking flowers, we attract what we desire when we show our bold, colorful selves. So when you are the most authentic version of yourself, yeah, you're living your life without a filter. You know, not like, don't be profane, but you know what I mean? You're not holding back. You're being who you are. You're going to attract other people that jive with you. You're going to attract attention. Yeah, once you start being alive in your life, you are going to attract attention. And that's good because your spark is going to ignite the flame in others. So if you want to add to your community, if you want to add positive to the collective, start living a life of passion. Walk with the flames of passion under your feet. Be alive while you are living. Really, that is the best thing you can do. So crafting with the Two of Fire. Two of Fire suggests, of course, that you grow bee balm, right? Save the bees, give the bees food and flowers, and yeah, grow some bee balm. Learn from bee balm. Attract what you desire by living your most authentic life, but just something fun. Remember how the Vibrant card said add some spark to your life, and I was seeing like hair. Well, you don't need to dye your hair, but how about like just wearing some bright colors inspired by the bee balm flowers? Like attract a little bit more energy by using color therapy, by wearing like a color that makes you feel bright and alive. Maybe actually do the red bergamot color, you know, this magenta fuchsia thing going on, and see how you feel and see what kind of energy you attract. Attract what you desire. So you attract what you are. You know, we learned all those universal laws the first year that we hung out together. And it's like we really do attract what we want by being what we want. Example, if you want success, then feel successful. you just are successful because you be successful. If you want more fun in your life, you just can't sit on the couch and complain about not having fun. You have to exude the energy of fun. You have to start being fun, and then you'll have more fun and you'll attract more fun. And it's like, oh my gosh, right? So that's how it works. If you want love in your life, you first have to have that desire and feel that energy and be more loving, and then you attract more love because you are more love. So that's some ideas from Bee Balm. Also, that healing with a kick. Remember that part? The spicy Bee Balm heals, the remedies heal with a kick. You can make a spicy Bee Balm infused honey for respiratory ailments, colds, and flu, and when you have a tickle in your throat like I do. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our herb of the week, Bee Balm, and I collectively offer them all to you. Thank you. I am vibrant. I show up and live my life to the fullest. My spark ignites the light in others. I add good energy into my community. I passionately attract what I desire by being who I am. I am creative and confident. I am vibrant. I show up and live my life to the fullest. My spark ignites the light in others. I add good energy into my community. I passionately attract what I desire by being who I am. I am creative and confident. And so it is. Yeehaw! Well, I am excited to hang out with Bee Balm all week. That's for the next 4 days. And I'm excited for Bee Balm to light more sparks within us so that we can add good, positive energy into our community, that we can walk with the flames of passion under our feet, that we can creatively attract what we freaking want just by being who we are. Let our greatness be shown from our inner light that shines out. That is the true meaning of success for me. Having fun, being vibrant, being happy, feeling alive. Hopefully I'll come across some Bee Balm in my local community. That I would like to just exert that expectation into my manifestations. Like, I want to take a walk this week and come across a yard that's growing Bee Balm all ready for me. I'll make a new friend. I'll take some pictures. I'll harvest some leaves and have myself some tea. So yeah, even though we can use this herb when we are sick, we could actually use it more creatively to it. Like, make that honey that the Herb Crafter's Tarot was talking about, and just take a little bit of that Bee Balm infused honey before creative work sessions. Like, feel that passion, fuel it. Be Balm, be the bomb, be the bomb, be Bee Balm. Yeah. Let's just hang out with this all week and really just remember to be creative and confident and show up. Show up in your life this week and every week and live life to the fullest. All right, thanks for joining me back here on Ho and with our herb of the week, Bee Balm.